Hello, my fellow Virgos. This is Dr. Shiny. I have a general tarot reading for you for the month of May, and this is the first reading this month. Starting from now on, I'm going to be doing 2 readings a month, so I'll do a mid-month reading as well, and it'll be labeled mid-month. So please tune back in for that, and I'm going to get straight to your reading today. So what we have for your current situation, my Virgo friends, is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups indicates a period of new opportunities. This is sort of new rabbit holes that are opening up. You can see the white rabbit on this card, which I really love because it's what I always think of as like the rabbit hole, tumbling down the rabbit hole, which the relevance of Wonderland, of the whole new perspective or way of looking at things, is that the old one was so boring, right? The old one was so intolerable that you had to start seeing the world a different way, that you had to start looking at things through a different lens. And this is your current situation, is that now you're in a different perspective. You're in a different way of looking at things. And there's a certain peace that comes with that, because you can now see um, more ends. You can see more clearly how things work, how the world around you works. So there's sort of a command and peace, but at the same time, you'll see people who are really impulsive, and it scares you because you recognize dangers that they may not recognize. And so there's that, and there's also the possibility that you are, jumping through this wonderland a little bit too quickly and haphazardly and dangerously. But then again, that may not be possible, so we'll see. But what was in your past, or what got you to this situation, was the Seven of Cups. And it represents a person who has a lot of people giving them ideas, and you try to be trusting. You try to think that people have your best interest in heart. So you carefully select among these people which one of them you think has your best interest, and go with some of their ideas. But what you don't realize is that they're all self-serving. They're all looking out for themselves. Everything anyone ever told you to do, they told you to do out of somehow self-interest, whether it be because they really do like you and they think that they know how to do things right, and they want you to do things the right way so that they can be with you in some afterlife, right, or something like that. It's always a selfish motivation, though. There's no such thing as the selfless deed. So by trying to trust these outside influences that try to pull you one way or the other, you're automatically setting yourself up for failure. And this is the foundation of what's got you to this situation. This is the foundation of where you are. And it looks as though that's sort of a little bit of what's in your future as well. So in your future, you have the Tower, which is sort of like institutions crumbling, marriages and businesses and wealth and you know stuff like that. They provide you with the temporary comfort. They provide you with the temporary ease, but in the long run, they are going to come down. They're not. Their utility doesn't transcend what they are. You know what I mean? So you have to keep that in perspective, that these institutions are really just institutions. Marriage does not ensure that love will be eternal. You know what I mean? The label of marriage, the stamp that you put on it, doesn't somehow cement it in the stars. There has to be a real connection behind that makes it a success. So anyway, the foundation for your current situation is the Emperor, and the Emperor deals with sort of the divine masculine, which is always offset by the divine feminine. Um, the divine aspect of either of the gender uh, spirits, the spirit of the particular gender, is always in a perfect harmony or balance with the opposite aspect as well. So when we talk about the divine feminine, it is in a perfect harmony with the divine uh, masculine, right? So these things go hand in hand. So the Emperor is a person who has this tremendous sense of masculinity built up, but in such a way that he is also embracing the feminine aspect and sort of channeling these things in equal power. That's what he gets his power from. It's very difficult for you to separate individual aspects of reality and then empower one of them without simultaneously empowering the other. So this person is essentially representing what the lesson you're learning is, what your subconscious is trying to teach you. Your subconscious is trying to teach you to take command and control of your environment, to be the controller rather than be controlled by it, but to also do that in a way that you understand necessity, you understand what is your duty and what is not your duty to meddle with or mingle with. This is a certain maturity that comes with not interfering in people's lives and things like that. Because you know that even if they're going through hardships, they're going to learn from those hardships if you don't interfere too much with them. You know, what's on your conscious mind or your crowning thoughts is the Fool. So this is very childlike, optimistic, and free-spirited energy. Goes forward without too much consideration for what bad might happen, and has a way of being surprisingly successful. Someone who is just not resisting anything from happening, and so they flow very organically through their environment. And this is on your mind. This is where your conscious thoughts are. This is the space you're trying to live in. And your subconscious is trying to sort of ground you. This is almost like you were born a king or something like that. And I mean, this is just the feeling of it. But you were like born a king. And your dad has been such a good king that you have not felt the need to take control of any part of it, right? Uh, and so you've been able to just enjoy bliss, enjoy living life just in appreciation and, you know, happiness. But there will be a time coming to where you're going to need to mature and take your father's place, take up the seriousness of, you know, maintaining the institutions, maintaining the temporary things, because we kind of get a little bit of cynical feelings about these institutions once we really wrap our heads around the fact that they are temporary. But then again, they still have to be there. They have to be maintained. You know what I mean? Like, even though what's in the history books may be altered throughout time, you still have to teach kids something. And if you can sort of maintain an overarching lesson behind the actual subjects that you're teaching, even if people meddle with the things that they put in the book, the overall message can be the same. And that's sort of the hidden secret of these religious texts, is that they speak in these parables, which are very, very difficult to take out of context unless you're like literally copying and pasting them together and trying to paint the false picture with them. So that's why they're given that way. That's why they're passed down in parable form, is so that they can be stronger that way. So this is the lesson you're learning. Be stronger, you know. Also, your advice for the current situation is the Judgment card. This is saying in your situation to let go of the past, let go of like what you've done in the past, let go of your mistakes. You're forgiven. Move on. Enjoy a sense of serenity and peace. Moving on to new and better things, and let the old burn away. Let the old go. What's in your current environment is the Seven of Coins, and the Seven of Coins represents sort of a time where you've put in effort, you've put in a substantial amount of effort, you've planted the seeds, that kind of thing, you've invested, and you are now waiting on the return from that investment. You're waiting for it to pay off. And it seems as though it's a little overdue. And this is the current environment, so this is not just you. It's like this is sort of something everybody seems to be feeling around you in this current situation. That we've all put in our dues, we've all put in our time, and now it's time for us to be paid, and it's still not here, you know. What's in your, now the thing I want to point out about that card before moving on, Um, that is very often a self-imposed problem. That is something that you naturally have ups and downs in your life. You have good things come in and you have bad things go out, and, or bad things take from you, that kind of thing. So the good periods are important to sort of save up for yourself to prepare for the bad parts, to prepare for the bad moments. Um, but what we have a tendency to do is we think about it in terms of like morality and good and bad and what's provided for us. So if something blesses us and we start to think, well, okay, so now it's my turn to give that away to somebody else. And it's a good practice to do in conscious effort, not to do impulsively, not to just sort of give away instantly everything that's given to you. Do it with purpose, and that's how you transform and shape and change energy. That's how you make your personal imprint in a good way, right? Um, and it's also how you end up finding your true passion, your true desire, that kind of thing. So your fears card is the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups represents celebration and achievement. This is like a big emotional success where everything is just good. Everything is euphoric, elation. You fear this. So what I take this to mean is that you fear happiness. You for some reason don't feel like you deserve. Maybe you found a shortcut and things just feel a little too easy, and so you're sort of doubting yourself, or like wondering if it's really as good as it seems. And it could be, it very well could be, it could be you who's just guilty because you feel like you've been treated maybe so poorly your whole life or something like that, that you have come to think that you deserve less. And you don't. You've been a really good person. uh, we all have. We all really have. And it's just a matter of how well that's appreciated by those around us. Because everybody's trying, but it's harder for some people. And your environment is going to dictate that to a really high degree. So it's not necessarily the person itself is less of a person because they're a certain way. It's the circumstances that were different. It's the circumstances, and you should look at that person as admirable because they've gone through more than you have. They've broken down uh, more than you have. And granted, they haven't really picked themselves up from it, but they've taken the beating and they're still alive. They're still there. They're still kicking. They're trying not to resist as much as possible while just taking that beating. And that's a incredible quality. I mean, it's sad that some people feel the need to do that, but it's just part of life. It's part of learning to grow up. So the fact that it's happening to such an intense degree, to me, it has a little ray of light in it, as well as being kind of sad, because these people will learn their lessons eventually. The overall message for you today is the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands deals with this is sort of being over encumbered. This is saying that you got too many projects you're taking on, too many dreams, that you sort of need to narrow your focus down to a couple really important projects and get those running and on the ground. And things will work a lot better for you because you're just trying to do way too many things at once right now. And perhaps people are really appreciative of your abilities and your support and help, and they are asking for it, demanding it a lot. But you've got to learn to say no and to be able to funnel yourself effectively in the way that you want to in your other projects. So there's that. But anyway, good reading for you. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns in the comments section, and I will get back to you. And I will see you guys again at the mid-month reading for May. Okay? Have a good one.